Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in a stunning turn of events for gender equality in netball, an under-17 all-boys team has won the state title in the under-18 championships in Brisbane. Stunning and brave equality. I feel so represented for being in that gender and them having won the netball championship for the under-18s. We're going to take a look at this article and see the backlash from this all-boys team winning the competition. Undefeated, might I say. Undefeated. So don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this one out, and let's take a look. So news.com.au, uproar as all boys netball team beats girls to win state title. So an angry backlash has erupted after an all boys netball team won a state title in Queensland by beating sides made up of female players in the decider. The Queensland Suns under-17 team was comprised entirely of boys and won the under-18s championship in Brisbane this week, beating regional female teams en route to the trophy. So the Courier Mail reports after the Suns beat the Bond University Bull Sharks 46-12. Wow. In the final, some members of the crowd directed abuse towards the boys, with many believing it was unfair they were allowed to compete. So these 17-year-old kids are getting abused by the crowd, which is generally in these underage championships made up of parents of the other teams, just because they wanted to play netball in the championships and the only people they've got to play against is girls. What do we hear? It's gender equality for other kind of female athletes to compete against female athletes who may not have been female, but the narrative is there's no biological difference and advantage, but clearly there is when an all-boys team wins a title in the under-18 championships during an undefeated season over all female teams. Suns coach Tammy Holcroft told the publication, the abuse ranged from comments made courtside deliberately within earshot of the Suns contingent to adults making vulgar comments directly behind the team bench. Yeah, sounds like a bunch of parents weren't happy that their girls lost. She said that it's disappointing that the frustration was directed at the players. At the very core of this, our boys just want to play, and they copped the brunt of these comments and behaviors and were made to feel unwelcomed and unsupported. Let's have an answer in the poll. What do you think? Should boys be allowed to compete against girls in elite netball competitions? What do they got? Yes, it promotes gender equality. Yes, it will help improve standards and performance. No, it's unfair on the girls' teams. No, boys should play but only against some other male teams. Let's flip this around and say it was a all-female basketball team, won an all-male basketball championship in the under-18s. Let's just flip it around and make it basketball. I assume that a lot of people would say, yes, it promotes gender equality in that case. Would people still be saying that it's unfair on the boys' teams if the girls' team won? Because this right here, it promotes gender equality. I think a mixed team, a mixed competition is more gender equality, where you've got boys and girls playing together on the same team, not boys versus girls. That's not really gender equality because of just biological advantage, we all know is true, and that played out here. Yes, it will help improve standards and performance. Well, it'll help for one team, yeah. It'll help the standards and performance for one team because they'll destroy the competition every week, which is what happened. It's unfair on the girls' teams. Well, did the girls have a say on whether they wanted the boys to be in the competition? Because if the clubs all got together and said, yeah, we'll allow the boys' team to compete, then it's on them. But if it wasn't their decision and it was like a governing body made the decision to say, yeah, they're going to compete and they're just going to put them in the comp, yeah, they didn't have a choice and it's kind of unfair. And the last one, boys should play but only against other male teams. Yes and no. If it's for a competition, yeah, they should play against other male teams. If it's for a competition and state championships, yes. But if it's just like a muck around on the park, eh. So let's take a look at the uproar. NRL commentator and radio host Andrew Voss said it was bullshit. The boys team, which was undefeated throughout the tournament and boasted an average winning margin of 29 goals, was allowed to compete against the girls. 29 goal margin. He said, how is that common sense? He told SEN. You're surely not going to endorse that as the way of the future at under-18s level. They say they want to be inclusive, not exclusive. That's BS. It's a farce. Then you got Cameron Smith, former Melbourne Storm champion. So he said Matt Geyer's daughter played against the Suns team this week and Smith's wife went along to watch the game. She said Matt's daughter's team were a gun side and they had no chance. Because yeah, they've made it to the final. They must be a really good all-girl team, but they got absolutely smashed. Had no chance. That's what he said. The males were just too fast, too physical. It was just a disadvantage to the girls, Cameron Smith said. There you go. He just said female teams were at a disadvantage against biological males. Boys are going to beat the girls. It's crazy. How do you put one male team in against all other females and expect the girls to compete. Particularly at that age when they're still developing, it's not fair. See, this flies in the face of the narrative that biology and biological development is not a thing. That is what one side of the debate says, and it's a whole nother issue to get into. But this flies in the face of that, and it destroys all their BS arguments about gender and hormones and just human biology. And he says that's a weird one to enter a male team in the netball competition. But if you want to play the narrative in the game that the woke left's playing, this should be fine. You got to play the boys against the girls because technically there is no advantage. There's no biological advantage. That's what one side says. So they should be all for it, shouldn't they? I wonder. In a Facebook post after the final, the Bulls Sharks wrote, "Congratulations on an outstanding tournament to our under-18 women, undefeated by other women's teams for the week and runners-up in the state titles." Oh, damn. The comments on a separate Facebook post promoting the final, questioned why an all-boys team was competing against their girls' side. Netball Queensland, in their wisdom, thought it would be fair to include a young men's state team against regional young women's team and allow them to contest the state title. So Netball Queensland posted about the success of the state titles, but looks like they got ratioed. So while everyone is patting themselves on the back for being inclusive and allowing the boys to play in this comp, has anyone stopped to ask the girls how they feel about this? What I saw during the comp was a bunch of excited, energetic, competitive girls until they played the boys. Yeah, would have come out dejected and, oh, we're going to lose. But you can't come out like that in a competition. You got to come out like you're going to win every game. Doesn't matter who you're playing. And this comment right here is perfect. Here we go. Anyone with an ounce of common sense can see this is not good for netball. Please stop bringing your politics into this and think of the players. See, the boys team treated it as a competition, like it was. They treated the girls with absolute respect and played hard and fair. Jason Ward, it's an absolute disgrace how these decisions get made, who knows? Absolute stupidity and inclusiveness gone mad. Done nothing to inspire girls who were humiliated. Someone else, I don't know of any sport in the world that would have allowed this to happen. Total disgrace. So here's Netball Queensland's excuse or argument for putting the boys team in the state title. So this year, in an effort to showcase the talent in both female and male pathways, we offered the Queensland Suns men's team the opportunity to play in the Nissan State titles, having welcomed the Suns, blah, blah, blah. Just as we have seen in New Zealand with the Cadbury Series, where the Silver Ferns, that's the women's team, play against the New Zealand men's netball team, we're hopeful this will be the catalyst for a standalone men's competition in 2022 and inspires more boys to get involved in netball. So their argument is this is the only men's team or boys team that they have in the competition, so they wanted it to start something to the detriment of the female teams because they got absolutely smashed every week. At least by 29 goals on average. And then the grand final was, 46-12. And then they want to talk about the different style of play for netball with boys and girls. And I wonder why. They encourage more aerial play because, why is that? Most likely the boys can jump higher and move faster. It makes total sense of why they play a different game. It's to the detriment of the girls who have to come up every week and get absolutely smashed. I think it turned out to be a stunning backfire for equality for netball in Queensland with all the backlash that they received for putting this boys team in this girls competition because they absolutely destroyed them. And you saw the comments that they got. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this one out, and I'll see you in the next one.